Hey, Maniac, you're listening to another episode of the Shop Talk Show. I'm Dave, in the shed, with me is Chris in the office. Hey, Chris, how are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Thanks for asking. Maybe a little follow-up, huh? I just saw, it was a kind of a bummer what happened to Bandcamp, huh? We were just talking to Ethan about the unions and tech work and stuff, and Bandcamp had a union that got recognized, but then the company sold. And part of our messaging there was like, hey, look, it doesn't hurt your company. It doesn't mean that it's not going to sell. Sometimes selling is, people think of it as bad because it's like, oh, it's got some new owner, it's going to go to crap, But a lot of tech workers think of selling as good because whatever, their stock vests then and they make money, and it's a little bit of a mixed blessing, But they were evidence that just having a union doesn't necessarily hurt the ability to sell the company, although the new company grabs it and huge layoffs immediately. Your union can't prevent that, unfortunately. And then the 8 people that were elected as the union representative, all 8 of them were fired.
See, that seems sus, right? Like,
it does seem sus, and they issued a statement. Songtrader did. That was like, oh, we didn't know they were the elected people. You had a meeting with all 8 of them, so you kind of did.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, like, if a company gets sold, it's like, clearly they weren't making money hand over fist, so layoffs are probably imminent. That's probably, it's part of it, probably, or like, maybe it was, and like, there's a
focus issue.
There's a focus issue, or it doesn't align with what the broader company, Epic Games, is doing, or whatever, right? But like, this one does just seem like we don't want unions, goodbye union reps, like cut off the head of the snake, if you will, or whatever. So
yeah,
that's,
it seems like there's so few people left too. They probably have a hard time getting enough power to get it re-recognized.
Like this, like Songtrader or Epic, are they just like, we'll take a federal lawsuit? Like,
yes, indeed, they did not install. Yes, they did it once again.
Cost and acquisition,
no, they did it.
Price of doing business, It's really curious to me, like, why they would say no,
I didn't mean to launch a browser.
I don't know. It didn't seem like it. People are just kind of like, we just want to keep our job, So,
yeah.
But maybe if this situation there had to be layoffs and they couldn't get them out, I have no idea.
I'm sure the story is nuanced and whatever. It just doesn't look great, and we just wanted to follow up because we had mentioned it just 2 shows ago.
Right. Well, and it was like the day after the Ethan show came out, and it was like, whoa, we were just talking about that. That is horrific. So, kind of wild.
Okay. Yeah, I was in the Discord the other day, I had bookmarked something, and I was just finally got around to looking at it the other day. It was a function in CSS. CSS has, I bet there's a good 30, like a function being, it turns into a value, or it's used as a value.
Very bright.
And but you have parentheses. There's a name in parentheses, just like in JavaScript, You send it in and stuff, and it does something useful for you. Awful lot of them. The one that was dropped in the Discord was called XYWH. That was the function name. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I have to look into that, And it turns out it's not the life-changing kind of thing, but the idea is that at this XY coordinate with this width and height, like make a box. So it's useful for clip path. Like that can be a useful way to describe how you want to clip something, especially the width and height. If you want to, make a box inside another element, there's also an inset function to push in from the edges. That's kind of cool, but you're pushing in, that doesn't help you with the width and height. Because pushing in from the edge, it could be a flexible size shape, so it's a little inconsistent in that way. And the XYWH has another thing that it can do where it can say round at the end, and then you can pass it so not only are you making this upload a radius on it too, which is also not possible with any. So I was like, oh,
interesting, cool things it can do. Yeah, I'm looking at it. So X, Y is like your start coordinates, right?
But I don't blame them necessarily. Sometimes you want not that. So there's a logic.
Yeah.
It could be just there's a little bit of
Wow, that's so difficult. Why is it so difficult?
And then the WH is like how big from here do you go? So it's like a SVG rectangle, like start here and then start here.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah,
instructions. Yeah, you're just stuff you're representing.
yeah.
Well, I got pretty good. I saw a little from the car, and the car is going around the path. With the path has a hard edge on it, like a 90-degree turn. Well, I think the car that is drawn doesn't have to be 100% exactly the same as the path that animate the object along. So I made a box that has it along, but rounded the edges by like 8 pixels. And that way, when the car is going along this what looks like a square path, when it hits an edge, it still churns. There's still a churning animation on the car because it's following the border radius rather than instantly turning from, say, heading upwards to heading right. It's a little hard to describe, I guess, with audio, but you can imagine following a nice curved path is a little more aesthetically pleasing to watch than a...
Interesting. That's not cool. A little effect just to make a little like circle, like loop around or something like that.
Here's another one, round. I didn't know that was it's not in Chrome, it's in everything but Chrome.
Everything but Chrome. Everything but
round it to an interval of your choosing. So it doesn't just round 1.0 to 1. You can say you can round it up or down. That's pretty good. 100 pixels or 50 pixels.